Let's take a look at the lion population slide. You can see it has a couple of very simple elements on it. The main title, there's a green box and also a block of text in white. So the first thing I did was to bring in a stock image of the lion. And the next thing we need to do is to duplicate that image. If you look at the first slide in the sequence, you can see it's made up of 24 lines, each one representing 50,000 lions in the population. So first thing to do is obviously to shrink down the lion roughly to the size we need it, move it up to the top left, hit Ctrl D to duplicate it, and then move this into the position you need it. It can be adjusted later on, and you can see by these dotted red lines on the screen that it is snapped to the first lion. Then I need to hit Ctrl D another 4 times. Now we can see that the lines have gone off the slide, but they are spaced out the way that I want them to be spaced out. So what I'm going to do is select all of the lines, hit Ctrl G to group them, and taking this handle here and holding down the Shift key, move these in until I've got them in the position that I want. I can then hit Ctrl D again on that group and move them down. Again, you can see it's snapping with that red dotted line on the left. I'll need to do that 2 more times, and that's probably about where we want 24 lines to be. We can then group the whole lot together to make our 24 lines. And of course, on this slide here, here's the one that I did earlier. You can see the sizing isn't exactly the same as the one I've just done, but this is the one that we'll use. So going back to this slide, which we don't need anymore, I do need one more thing. I do need one more lion. I need the light yellow lions. So I'm just going to select this group, hit Ctrl Shift G a couple of times, and select all of these lines, deselect one, and just delete the rest. So this line needs to be the highlight line, the one that comes in over the top of the other lines. And to do this, all I need to do is select this line, right click, and go to Format Picture on the right hand side, go across to the Picture menu, and I'm going to increase the brightness by 35%. And you can see the effect that that has. So our first line is literally just made up of the 24 lines, the group of 24 lines with the title and the date and figure at the bottom. On the second slide, we need to introduce these highlighted lines, and the population decrease is such that we go down to 450,000, which needs to be represented by 9 brown lines. So we need to grey out the rest of these lines effectively. And so we've taken our single line, and as we did with the brown lines, we've duplicated it 6 times in exactly the same position as the brown lines underneath, and we've formed that into a group, which again I've duplicated for the second line and duplicated for the third line after having deleted the 3 right-hand lines. And then we introduce the animation. So let's go to the animation pane, and you can see it's fairly simple. The title, as it's called down here, the 1940s line, effectively this one here, fades in, and it fades in over a duration of 6 seconds, as you can see here. And then the group, which is the top group of lions here, comes in with previous. It wipes across from the left-hand side with previous over a duration of 3 seconds. The second group also comes in with previous over a duration of 3 seconds, but it has a delay of 3 seconds so that it comes in after this first group. And the third group comes in after previous. Because we've set the first animation to 6 seconds, these 2 have finished by then, so this can come in after previous, and it comes in on a duration of 1.5 seconds. The third and fourth slides in the sequence work in exactly the same way, as does the final slide in the sequence, except of course on this one we only need about 2/5 of a lion. So how have we done that? Well, you've seen before the crop tool, so we go to picture format, and you can see that this bottom line here is simply cropped. If I uncrop it, you can see it becomes a full line, and we can click on it again, go to crop, and crop it in to the position that we need. And then, of course, once again in the animation pane, you can see here that it wipes across from the left-hand side as the rest of them do. So that was quite a simple slide to produce, but it's an effective way of getting data information across.